I want to tell you that this is the time for us to really recalibrate about what we have written down. Where are we? Where are we going? You should to sit yourself down. Look at what has worked for you. Look at what has not worked for you. Take stock of your life, and that will really help you to forge ahead. It's good for us to take stock, and that's for accounting student. You know what we call opening stock, and you know what we call closing stock. So it's good for us to really what to take stock of our life, to take stock of what we have done this year. So what work, what didn't work, so that we know where we are and how we could forge ahead, how we could get to where we desire to get to this year. That will really help us. One thing I want to also tell you is that uh, it's not easy. I know some of you have been trying. Some of you have been trying. I cannot even, there's no message that you could preach to some people because they have done everything possible to become something they want to become. But things are not just working. Some people, they have prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed, and they are yet to see a result. Some people have been hopeful that things will go well, and things have not gone well with them. So the only thing I could tell you is that still keep on trying, keep on trying, keep on trying. I was born in Nolinde, yes, Nolinde Mokola. So and I did my the first phase of my childhood uh, in the Nolinde, Mokola, Adamasingba, Dugbe in Ibadan. So and before I now we now moved to Agbowo in 1980. Yes, so we moved to Agbowo, very close to University of Ibadan in 1980. So where my life also began again. Then people used to give us the clothes that we used to wear. Then people, all the clothes I was wearing then, it's people dash me clothes. It was a moment of it was a stormy moment in my life. And we were struggling, and we I think my parents didn't really uh, they didn't really like the issue of begging people before they could eat. So we barely eat three square meals. Sometimes maybe one. We just take breakfast, or maybe we will not be able to take breakfast. We will be unable to take breakfast, lunch, and dinner, maybe one, or sometimes oh. You know what I mean by oh? No breakfast, no lunch, no dinner. And sometimes it will be 010. That means there is no breakfast, but we manage to get lunch, and there is no what dinner. Those were our experiences then. I was struggling. In fact, let me tell you, at that particular time, we were not eating meat. In fact, meat was like a goad to us. Fish was like a goad. And what I used to do is to what? Go around the bush and look for snail. So if we were lucky and I was able to get snail, that was when we were going to eat meat. So we couldn't eat meat for years. We couldn't eat fish for years because we could not afford it. In fact, we couldn't buy clothes because we could not afford it. We only wait for the time that people will dash us clothes. And those Baba dash me, Mama dash me clothes were the ones that we were wearing then, and it was very tough. Nigeria was very tough. I'm talking to you about early 80s. Nigeria was very tough at that part. Don't forget at that particular time. Also, there was issue with structural adjustment programs, SAP. You know, introduce the SAP, or that SAP policy came up around between 1985. I think 1985, 1986, 1986, and maybe part of 1987 as well. That was during the time of Babangida. Babangida hijacked the government in 1985. So, but things have been very tough. Even we could not pay school fees because we were paying school fees in the early 80s, before later they now introduced free education. So it was very tough then. It was very tough, 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 tough. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy then. Like I've told you, my parents could not afford anything. They couldn't buy us clothes. So we usually wait for Baba dash me clothes, Mama dash me clothes from the church. I was attending Christ Apostolic Church. So there were some elders in the church that normally would dash us clothes. I remember one of the late elders, Elder Misak Adidayo. He was the one that dashed me the clothes that I used to even do first album I did for the church in 1996. There was no money. I'm talking even, and I've now moved to 90s. In 90s, the same story. In late 80s, I mean late 70s, same story. In early 80s, in 80s, same story. In 90s, same story till 1996. I'm just trying to summarize things for you to know that it has been tough for years. It has been tough for decades. But one thing that has what kept me going is what? Hope in God, faith in God, and prayer. Because there are fakeries around the world. On the social media now, you see a lot of people faking their lives. They are struggling, but they are smiling at you, telling you what is not working for them. To what? To confuse you. So in order for you not to get confused, it's better to hope to what? Set your hope on God. Set your hope on God. Have faith in God and pray. Continue praying. Also go pay one day.